And welcome back everybody to another episode of All the Mods 10. I am your host, Undisturbed Potato, and today we are going to be starting off in the Nether just because I found it is a little easier to get one of these souls needed for Forbidden Arcanus. And yes, we are starting to create the little altar and get into the mod just a little bit. So make sure you guys stay tuned if you guys are curious about how to set up some things and get some things. One of the harder things about All the Mods 10 is the fact that they removed the Edelwood trees from the Dark Forest. So now the only way to get the Edelwood logs is by one, coming over here to the quest line for Forbidden Arcanus and completing one of the easier things, which is just visiting a dark forest, which you will be able to get 2 Edelwood or Edelwood logs, which is pretty nice because that allows you to create the black hole and get your first little soul extractor. However, if you are going to need more wood than that, which I think you might, the next best option is to watch the trades from the wandering villager, just because he can sell the sapling so you could grow your own logs and whatnot, which is super useful. But I mean, you either have to be lucky or you could just make mob spawner version of him and just spawn in countless villagers until you get the trade you want. I think I've heard that that works. Or option number 3, which is what we are going to be doing, and that is trying to collect this corrupt souls. So these corrupt souls can drop as long as you have the soul looting enchant, which we have a level 7 version of it, which is super good, which gives us a higher chance. I do know if you go around killing peaceful mobs, you do get the soul, the normal uncorrupt version of it. However, I think if you do slay evil mobs, which is why I'm in the Nether, you do get a corrupt soul. Or maybe if you're just in the overworld, it'll drop the soul and then the Nether gives you the corrupt soul. I'm not too sure about that, don't quote me, but as you can see, just come over here, smack these guys around a bit, and hopefully one of these little souls will spawn. So let's look for a few more guys to smack. That's the main reason why I came over here, just because we do have a lot of piglin. But yeah, let's see. Okay, none just yet. Oh, there it is. And just like that, one of these guys spawn. Just go up and smack them real quick, and just like that, we do have 2 corrupt souls, which is very cool. Another way to obtain these souls, as you can see, you could use the runic crucible with this rather complicated recipe, or this one, which can turn a normal soul into a corrupt soul. However, you do need to go into the eternal starlight dimension to be able to get some of this stuff, and you are going to need a bit of source to do the conversion. But you can always just come over here, collect a few, and then use it on the wood. Alright, and now we are in front of the castle. We're going to just turn these guys into this growing Edelwood, to which we just need to grab some bone meal right quick. Let's make a couple of this, and then you can just bone meal it, and just like that, you have your logs. So if you were struggling on getting these guys, now you know how to get it. You either buy it, you could craft these guys, or toss one on to a sapling and just grow it up, and just like that, you're able to get some wood. I do know that you can collect those dark corrupties with a mob catching tool, and I think, I'm not sure, but if you do have the stuff set up, you can probably duplicate this guy using the mob spawner. Where is it? Is it over here? Yes, the mob duplicator. So if you do throw it in here and give it some essence, there's a chance that you can actually get it to work, which would give you a lot more corrupties, so you don't have to keep going and killing mobs to get more of those souls. But yeah, just like that, we were able to get a few, which I am happy with. So let's turn one of these guys into those, and then we could burn one of these because we are going to need the black hole. The reason why I wanted to come to the entrance of the castle is because today is the day where I am going to be looking at the comments and checking whether or not we are keeping the tower, and if there is no recommendation, then I will be doing whatever I think is good or looks good. So just for reference, we were talking about the towers, but I did add a little bit of decoration. It is not done just yet, but as you can see, I did make the nice fences over here. I did use Macaw's fences and walls. You just get the iron bars, throw it in a stone cutter, and then you can select these guys. Super nice, super cool. These are the cathedral ones, just so if you guys are looking for this type of design, that's what you got to do. Over here, I also put some oak leaves inside the mason table, or whatever it's called. And I chose the magenta just because these looked the brightest and they looked pretty nice. So yeah, along the gate, I put these guys up front, put a couple lanterns down. Yeah, let's take a quick little overview from up top. It looks kind of cool, if I say so myself. And I added a little pond, and we have a new member to our family. Yeah, got some of these trees. I am using pine leaves and spruce logs to build this. We have our gardener friend over here. His name's Adam. Adam's gonna be with us, having fun, making sure the weeds don't get too high, which, as you can tell, he's slacking it. As you can see, there's quite a bit just hanging around. Come on, guy. But yeah, besides Adam, we do have our axolotl over here. His name's Rex. I kind of forgot that these guys hunt fish, and before he was introduced to his new home, we had about 10-12 different tropical fish just swimming about. But yeah, steadily over time, he's reduced their numbers to 0, which I don't blame him. I don't like a lot of people in a small area. It does feel a little cramped, so I kind of don't blame him for doing that. But now he's a little alone right now. Who knows, maybe I'll go to the lush caves one more time and find him a friend and bring him back. But yeah, this is our little pond area. This is the little pattern of our little fountain and walkway. It is just andesite checkered tiles and tough tiles. I also used the mason table, or let me search it up. Yep, the mason table. You throw the blocks in and you can choose what you wanted to turn it into. So that's what I did, and that's what I'm using to make this path, if you guys were curious. Over here for our water fountain is just smooth stone, which I have not removed this. There we go. That looks a little bit better, I think. I don't know. You guys let me know what you guys think in the comments. But yeah, this is just stone slabs with some gold crates from Ars Nouveau. I do recommend being a little careful how you're putting these guys down, because they do take a little while to mine. It feels like you're mining obsidian. So yeah, just be warned with that. I do have a very fast pickaxe, and it still takes a minute, so a little fair warning. But yeah, this is the design that I'm coming up with so far. These are the lampposts. I'm not too sure whether I do or do not want to put that design along the sides or come up with something else. So, as before, if you guys have any suggestions regarding the build, just let me know, and I might take one of you guys into consideration, and that'll be pretty cool. Okay, oh, whoops, let's go down one more. Actually, we do need to cook something. So if we do come over here, the thing that we do need to cook is this log, I believe. And yes, because we are going to need at least 1 dark matter. All right, and we are going to be mixing 1 dark matter with one corrupted dust by tossing both onto the floor. That's going to make a little black hole. You're going to feed the black hole XP to get this petrified orb, to which we can put this into the altar. The best way that I recommend doing it is by utilizing a tank. If we come over here, I have one of these jumbo tanks full of XP from the earlier days of our mob farm. So I am going to put a few little faucets on it, turn those, and let it sink into the black hole. But first, to be able to do that, we are going to need some obsidian steel ingots, which can be crafted using some iron, some obsidian, and an enhancer relic. So, to be able to get this enhancer relic, you are going to need to go around looking in these villager buildings to find it. You can also find it in dungeons, which is where I have found some before, or if you are lucky and you look at the wandering villager instead of just slaying him every single time, you will notice that he does have a chance to sell it as well. So if I look over here, put relic, I do have 2 of them. So we are going to be making this Klebano core or little multi-block structure so that we can do that. And if we click on this, all we are going to need is some dark stone and a blast furnace, which I already have all that stuff. And if we just hover right over it, you can see what we are going to need. So we are going to need some polished dark stone. So if I just put dark stone, I did prepare the recipes beforehand, so it won't take too long. But let's do this. Or let's hover over it again. So we are going to need 8 polished dark stone, and then for the rest, it looks like 17 dark stone bricks. So how are the bricks? Would they look like this? So that's dark stone. This is the one recipe that I do not have currently, so if I do that, perfect. Come over here, toss it in, and if we look back over here, you can make some dark stone bricks, which will make 20, just cause why not? And let's get this set up. Alright, once you have this built according to the little guide, you do need to right click it with some moonbeater dust, and just like that, it does turn into the complete multi-structure, where we could throw in the relic, grab some raw iron, and some good old obsidian. Yep, let's do that. Grab a bit, just toss them in like that. To craft the moonbeater dust, we are going to need some gunpowder, some blaze powder, redstone dust, bone meal, a phantom membrane, and some arcane crystal dust. To get this, all you do have to do is cook some of the arcane crystal, which you can find underground, or if you do have a quarry of some sort, you can have it automatically collected so that you could have a ton of it. You can also get a bee to produce this, so that's also something I do have set up just in case. To get quite a bit of the phantom membrane, honestly, I leave my character AFK for a while quite often, so there's always phantoms that I can easily slay, but it is recommended to use a data model on a phantom so that you could use the hostile neural networks simulator and looting blocks to get some of those, because you do get 8 per successful little orb. But yeah, so we come over here, we toss in some coal, and just like that it begins. If you do want to speed it up, I don't think you can unless you add this soul, which it does make it supersonic or faster, I don't know. But just like that, we could get our obsidian steel, which will allow us to make some of this corrupted dust. And we'll make it right here in the center. Let's turn off our magnet mode. We'll toss one right there, and then we'll toss a black hole. Oh, dark matter, and just like that, we have ourselves a little black hole. So with this guy, we can get our good old tank. Let's see, it is from that mob. Yep, make some of these guys. We'll make 2. And if we place this down up here, oops, where is it? There it is. Let's mine this. Put one of these guys right on it. And then if we right click it, as you can see, it is tossing XP onto it, and it is being turned into this X petrified orbs, which is super useful. So I'm gonna toss this stuff back in here. And then if you do want it to go faster, what I do recommend doing is using your time wand on the faucet, and just like that is going to toss more and more XP on it, making this go even faster. So be careful with that, because if you do increase the speed too fast, this stuff's just going to be flying everywhere. And if you do not want a crazy full inventory, like how you can see with me, just be prepared for it. But yeah, the next structure we are going to be working on is the Hephaestus Forge. So if we take a quick look at the guide, as you can see, it is a quite larger setup, utilizing some polished dark stone as the main base, with a few gilded, chiseled, polished dark stone. That's where we are going to be putting the obelisks and or the altars or pedestals for the altar. Then in the center, we are going to be using a smithing table and right clicking it with some moonbeater dust, and that's going to turn it into the altar. So once I have that set up, I will be back. Alright, so after setting this up, you are going to need roughly 5 of these chiseled arcane polished dark stones, 8 of these gilded, and then roughly, I believe I only went through 48 dark stone. And just like that, we can come over here and right click, shift right click. Seems like it's not correct. So, that's what I did wrong. I put 5 of these and 8. Seems like the middle is supposed to be one of those guys. And just like that, we have our Hephaestus Forge. So the next thing to do is to gather materials, which we need XP, blood, some souls, and some aureole. And if memory serves me right, if you do find these aureole bottles in chests, you can put it in here and it will automatically collect. However, some of the best ways to do it is by using some arcane obelisks, which these are relatively easy to make. You just need 1 arcane polished darkstone, 2 arcane crystal blocks, and then you just right click it with some moonbeater dust, and just like that you'll be able to create some of these. So if we come over here, type in crystal, I already have a few of these blocks ready, and then darkstone, I'm pretty sure it was these guys. We are going to need a few more, just since I could just autocraft things. Let's do this just like that, just for an example, and then right click, boom, boom, and over time this will fill up. So I'm just gonna put all of these guys down for right now, turn them all into obelisks so that over time it can fill up. Then we'll switch them out for the normal pedestals. Alright, and I am back after a little bit of waiting, and as you can see, the aureole is filling up. As for the XP, the reason why we made these orbs is because we could just toss it in here and fill that up relatively quickly. We were able to get a couple souls for free from the quest. However, I am going to show you a little way of how you could get more souls without having to extract it yourself, just because it can take a little while. So if we come over here, we are going to be making this soul extractor, which if you take a quick look, it's pretty easy. So I just need some glass, put it around this edible plank, we get this jar, and then we just craft up some of this stuff. Click it again, and just like that, we have the soul extractor. With this, all you have to do is hold right click on some soul sand, and you'll be able to turn it into soulless sand and be able to extract the soul from it. Looks like we don't have any available, so I'll just grab some from here, right click on it, and just like that we can make a couple stacks. And all you have to do, how I said, hold right click, and boom, just like that, we have managed to get a soul. So I'll go over that in just a little bit, but what I did want to try testing is this little setup, just because I do know that you can spawn in mobs on top of this area and slay them to collect some blood. But if we do come over here, as you can see, I think that was like 5 to 7 creepers to provide us with a fourth or a fifth of what we needed. So as the next group spawns, this setup's relatively super simple to do. So to be able to get these little souls up and going, I am just going to put it right here along the edge. So if we do this, as you can see, it is pointing this way or right there. If we do turn on, it does not show. However, if we just throw in soul sand, as you can see, it just places it in front of it, which that is perfectly fine with us. If we come over here to the advanced block breaker, and if we come over here and mine this guy, all we have to do is put him facing this way, and if we get a shovel, I'm pretty sure I have a few in here. We don't really care about this guy, so we'll toss him in here. We'll put the soulless sand right there. We'll click allow so that it knows to mine the soulless sand and nothing else. And then right on top of it, let me grab some blocks. But yeah, up here, we are going to put the advanced clicker pointing down, and that's where we are going to put the soulless extractor in. This guy is going to be extracting the souls, and I believe in Chosen Architect's video he did say roughly 45 ticks is how long it takes for this guy to extract. So just like that, we have everything nice and set up. All we do have to do is get a barrel or chest, set it up, and provide these guys with a bit of power. So let's go chests. Perfect. I know a barrel would look way more cleaner, but the chest just has more space, so that's why I'm going to be doing that. So right here, we'll put the chest on the side. We'll put the item collector right on top. We'll turn on the rendered area just so we know where this is working. So we'll do -1. We'll add a little bit of height to it. Add some thickness. Let's do this as well. If we do it 1, and then we do it again. Okay, cool. Just because I do not know where the soul's going to be popping out from. That's the main reason why I'm doing this, but yeah. This is a pretty good coverage, if you ask me. So, which one? Yep, just like that, turn it off. Now we just have to provide these guys with power, which I'm going to put it right here on the wall, just because it looks cool. We'll put this guy right here on the side. You can't use a gate. What if I do something like this? Aha! That's how we do it. Sweet. So then we'll turn on the rendered area. We'll go negative, so it's right there. Add some height. And then make it a little thick, and just like that, it is providing power to these guys, and it is doing its job. Alright, so I went back to the video for reference, and I did need to put this to hold click for that to Oh, I can't put that down. But yeah, you gotta set this to 45 ticks, and then it'll automatically extract souls. It'll get picked up over here, as well as the soul sand, and just like that, you can automate getting yourself souls. If you connect this to the ME system, you can just send soul sand to this whenever you need to, but I don't think I really need that much, so instead I might just put a little pipe right here to send exactly soul sand over, just so that it can do this on its own without having to need any more crazy stuff for it. But yeah, we'll grab these souls, come over here, toss them in here, and just like that, we're full on Oriole, we're full on souls, we have full XP, and in just a little bit, we will be full on blood. But yeah, if we do want to move it to or make it turn into the next tier, all we do have to do is come over here, and it tells you what you can do to do it. Or if you come over here and put at forbidden, and you hover over these guys and you click on it, it'll also show you what you need to do. So to upgrade it to tier 2, we are going to need some arcane crystals, some spawner scrap, and 8 wood planks. So if you come over here, type Edel, we have that. Arcane crystals, I have so many of those. And spawner scraps, I have a ton, just because every spawner I do find from over here, I do mine. Not to mention, you could go into the dungeon, and there are tons and tons of spawners there. And if you have invisibility from the little pylon, you can just go around mining them all without any care in the world. It is super amazing. But yeah, so if I double check this, these are done. So we'll mine them all up, replace them with pedestals, and start upgrading our stuff. Just because looks like our blood is almost full. So as you can see, we are full on Aureals, souls, blood, and XP. So we'll put the Edward plank in here. We'll put 4 of these crystals, 4 shards, and then you are going to need a gavel to right click to begin this process. If you really wanted to, you can increase the speed of which this works by right clicking it with the time wand. But as you can see, it kind of just uses a lot and it doesn't really take too long. But if you are crafting other things like an eternal stella, this is when it comes super in handy. So for now, we'll spawn some more of these guys. We'll replace these guys with some Oriole, and we could always just fill it up with more XP and blood the same way. So just like that, that is probably one of the easiest ways of doing this. And the last thing before I wrap up this episode is we are going to get a lightning creeper or a charged creeper, one way or another. So if we come outside and put the spawner down, I am gonna give this some power so it could turn on. I did have a lightning scroll from our spawner from way back, so just like that, we could turn these creepers into charged creepers. And since they have no AI, you could just come up to them and just right click on them like crazy. And just like that, you could get yourselves a ton of these old bottle of lightnings. So just grab some more off him. Can't cast it just yet, but whenever the cooldown is over, you could just recast it on top of these guys, turn them into charged creepers, right click them with some glass bottles, and you'll be able to get yourself some lightning, which, as I said before, we are going to need it for these lightning runes, just because we are going to need to turn it into these lightning orbs, of which we're going to be using for this probability device. The only thing we are missing for everything is some of this mithril, which I have been looking around in the wiki and the Reddit forums, it looks like we are going to need to explore some buildings to be able to get access to that. So, in the off time, I will be running around trying my best to find some of this mithril and make a mithril B so we could get that crafted up. But yeah, just like that, we got into Forbidden Arcanus. We talked a little bit about making it so that we can automatically collect blood using a spawner on top. Of course, the creeper spawner does have a chorus fruit as well as a soul lantern and a redstone comparator. What all that does is comparator lets you control it using a redstone signal. The soul lantern ignores light conditions, and then the chorus fruit removes the AI, so they're just going to stand around doing nothing. So if you plan on using any type of hostile mob to spawn on top of your altar to collect blood, I do recommend adding at least those 3, just because it will make things a lot easier, as well as having your area chunk loaded just in case they do explode, because you forget. You don't want yourself getting blown up. So yeah, we talked about that. We talked about how we could get souls very easily. We made the little black hole, and today we added 2 new members to our family, one being Adam, our gardener, wherever he went, and this guy, Rex, our friendly little axolotl. Well, not so friendly to the fish, but to us, hopefully he is. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed the episode, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you have any suggestions and or comments about anything going on in the series, or if you need help on anything that I might be able to explain, let me know. If you are encountering any difficulties, put it down in the comments. Maybe I or someone else might be able to get to your question and answer it to help you guys out with your series. But yeah, it's fun. This weekend I am going to be working on building this place out, just because I am having a lot of fun building right now instead of trying to progress like crazy. So on Monday, when you guys see the next episode, hopefully I have a lot more built to show you guys then. So with that, guys, thank you guys for watching, and until next time, peace.